Hi, welcome back. I am trying to find a 5-star read. I haven't had a 5-star read since like January, February, sometime around in there, and I'm desperate. I'm just so disappointed with my reading so far this year that I will literally do anything to get a 5-star read. So I thought for August, I'm going to do a TBR because that historically works out so well for me. I'm going to do a 5-star predictions TBR for August, and I'm going to read the 5 books that I've picked out for the month, and I'm gonna maybe vlog my experience reading each of these books and seeing if we can finally, fingers crossed, get a 5-star read. These are hopefully not the only 5 books that I will read in the month of August, but these are going to be the 5 books that I'm prioritizing in August because these are books that I really truly believe I'm going to love. I just like did a little shop my shelves situation, and I picked out some books that have been just appealing to me for a long time, that I've been putting off for whatever reason, and I've decided that this is not the time to put them off any longer. I'm trying to find a 5-star read, and so these are the ones that I think are going to do it for me. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll have more than one 5-star read in this video, or like in this month, but we're aiming for 1. Goal is 1. Bar is low. I think I have a pretty good mix of genres here. I have some fantasy, I have historical, I have contemporary or like literary fiction, I have YA, adult, I have like just, the gambit of things. So I feel like I've set myself up for success, and we're going to hopefully have some success. So the first book that I have picked out for my August 5-star predictions is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. It's actually a pretty new addition to my TBR. I bought this on Independent Bookstore Day. I bought it from bookshop.org because I couldn't go out and shop on Independent Bookstore Day. This is a letter from a man written to his mother, all about his struggles with growing up and struggles being a human being. It's sort of like a written history of their family. His mother cannot read, so he is able to just like pretty much let all of his emotions out in this letter. I've heard amazing things about it. I've heard amazing things about Ocean Vuong in general. I feel like this is a solid pick for a 5-star read. It has such great reviews, and I love a book that has gorgeous writing that tackles difficult family issues. I just think this is going to be the book for me. So we're going to give this a go in August, and fingers crossed, it's a 5-star read. I'm going to cross my fingers after I talk about every book. Probably. Next up, I have a YA fantasy, and that is Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. Historically, have loved Margaret Rogerson. I loved Sorcery of Thorns, which I read a couple of years ago. It's my favorite book that I read in like 2020, 2021, somewhere around in there. This is a YA fantasy. Like I said, it's about a girl who is training to be a Grey Sister, which basically is just like a nun that cleanses the bodies of the deceased so their souls can pass on. And I think at the beginning of the book, something happens to her, and it sort of like isolates her from the rest of the convent. And we get to learn more about like her history and how she came to be there, and learn some secrets about her. I've loved Margaret Rogerson's writing in the past. I feel like this is a solid choice for a 5-star prediction because I've loved books by her. And also it just like the plot sounds interesting. I also really love the cover. Like, it is gorgeous. So fingers crossed, this is a 5-star read. Sticking with fantasy, I'm also just going to throw this on the pile. I mean, it's a chunker, and don't know how I'm going to feel about it, but I've got Babel by R.F. Kuang, which is a standalone, I think, fantasy about a boy who gets accepted into like Oxford, like college for languages, and he learns magic, and it's all about like colonization and colonialism, and I've heard great things about it. Obviously, it's so hyped. People love it, and I have just been like putting off reading it because, one, I didn't really love the Poppy War, which is an unpopular opinion. I think it was fine, like it was well written, and I didn't mind the story and the characters. I just didn't really like where I could see that series was going, and I also felt like it was a little bit overwritten, which this might also be a little overwritten because it is like 500 pages, and it's like, there's a lot going on here. But it has such good reviews, and I just feel like to set myself up for success, I need to pick something that the sound of it is appealing to me. So this is a good bet for me. Fingers crossed, it's a 5-star read. Wouldn't it be great if all 5 of these books were 5-star reads? I probably won't get that lucky. Historical fiction, historically, has been great for me. I'm a big historical fiction girly. I usually read it a little bit more in the fall and winter because historical fiction just feels very fall and winter to me, but we're gonna try it out in the summer. So I've got The Queen of the Night by Alexander Chee, which coincidentally is also on my 2023 TBR that I've basically abandoned at this point because I haven't read very many of the books on that list. But this is a mystery, a historical fiction mystery about an opera singer, and she gets approached by this writer to be the star of a new opera that they're writing, and lo and behold, the opera that is being written is based on her life. Nobody knows that it's based on her life. There's only like a handful of people in the world who knew the secrets that the opera tells, and so it's sort of like this mystery of finding out who she can and can't trust, and how these people, this writer and this composer, learned her secrets, and if they know that she is the subject. This came out a few years ago and has been on my TBR for a very long time. I just think it's going to be amazing. This is a book that every single time I look at it on my bookshelves, I'm like, that is going to be a 5-star read. Why have I not read it yet? We're fixing that right now. This is going to be a 5-star read, fingers crossed, and I'm going to read it finally. It's going to get off my TBR, but also I'm going to love it, and I'm going to feel validated, and we're going to have a good time. And then finally, another more recent addition to my physical TBR. I think I got this one in January at the half price hardcover Barnes & Noble sale. This is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. This is about a woman who is like trained in chemistry, and she has a hard time like breaking into a very male dominated field. And so she ends up hosting a cooking show, I believe, and she's able to use her like chemistry skill set on this cooking show. This is set in the 70s, I believe, so it is also like historical, and I've heard amazing things about it. I've heard so many good things about this book that I am confident that I'm gonna love it. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, so it has the blue sprayed edges, which I just think is so fun. I'm excited. It is blurbed by Maggie Shipstead, who wrote Great Circle, which is one of my favorite books that I've ever read. It's also blurbed by Claire Lombardo, who wrote The Most Fun We Ever Had, which is one of the less fun books that I've ever read. You know, it could go either way, but we're gonna keep our fingers crossed that this is a 5-star read. This is going to be a new favorite book. I'm just determined to make that happen. If you watched my July wrap-up, you know that at the end of that video, I said that I was manifesting that my favorite book of the year is going to happen in August. Like, I'm going to read my favorite book of the year in August. And I'm just so hopeful that one of these books is that book. Like, one of these books is going to be my favorite book of the year. I'm thinking about doing a vlog where I read these books, and like not an individual vlog for every single book, because I feel like that would be so boring. But a vlog, like spend a couple weeks like vlogging, reading each of these books. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please let me know, because I can certainly do it. I might be in the process of doing it right now as you're watching this video. I might have already decided to do it and don't really care about your opinion. But if you would watch a vlog of me reading these books, let me know, because if you're interested, I'm more likely to actually end up posting it. So yeah, that's my 5-star predictions for August. I honestly thought about doing 10 because I read 10 books in July, and I felt like 10 was achievable, but then I was like, that puts so much pressure on the 10 books that I choose. So I felt like 5 was a safer bet. And hopefully I will read these 5 books. They will all be 5 stars. I could read 5 more books and they could also be 5 stars. We're going to keep our hopes up, even though historically my track record is not great. Please let me know down in the comments if you've read any of the books that I mentioned in this video. Are any of these books 5 stars for you? Or were any of these books like 1 star for you, and you would definitely recommend me not read them? I'd really love to know. Honestly, I really would love to know that. Let me know some books that you're planning on reading in the month of August. What is your like 5-star prediction for August? What is the book that you're hoping is going to be like a new favorite book? I'd really love to know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!